An herb grows across Asia. It contains 64% omega-3 fatty acids, more than any fish, more than any seed, more than any supplement on the market. It self-seeds so aggressively that one planting creates permanent food. Korean families have grown it for 2,000 years. Japanese cuisine depends on it. Western nutrition science ignored it for a century. The Omega-3 industry generates $4 billion yearly selling fish oil. Meanwhile, this plant grows like a weed. Welcome back to Ancient Grains. Have you seen this plant near you? Drop a comment below. Walk into any Korean restaurant tonight. Watch the table next to you. They will wrap grilled meat in large green leaves. The leaves have serrated edges and purple undersides. This is not lettuce. This is not spinach. This is perilla. 500 million people across Asia eat it every week. In Japan, they call it shiso. Every piece of sashimi arrives with a perilla leaf underneath. Tourists assume it's decoration. It's not. The leaf contains compounds that kill bacteria and parasites. Japanese chefs have known this for 500 years. The leaf is not garnish. It is medicine, hiding in plain sight. In China, they call it zisu. Traditional medicine cabinets contain dried perilla for treating 40 different conditions: coughs, colds, nausea, skin inflammation, allergic reactions. The documentation fills thousands of pages. Western researchers never translated these texts. Here is the first clue that something went wrong. You know basil, you know oregano, you know mint, rosemary, and thyme. These herbs sit in every Western grocery store, but perilla, consumed by more people than all those herbs combined. It does not exist in Western consciousness. Most Americans have never heard the word. The problem begins with names. Koreans call it kanip. Japanese call it shiso. Chinese call it zisu. Botanists call it perilla frutescens. 4 names for one plant. No unified identity in Western languages. When a plant has no consistent name, it has no consistent presence, not in databases, not in cookbooks, not in research funding. The fragmentation was not intentional, but the result was erasure. Compare this to cilantro, same plant as coriander. Different name for leaves versus seeds. But Western food culture unified these names. Everyone knows cilantro. It appears in every grocery store. Perilla never received this unification. It remained foreign in each separate encounter. Never familiar. Never integrated. The ancient record tells a different story. In China, around 200 AD, scholars compiled the Shenong Benko Jing. This is the oldest surviving pharmacopoeia in human history. Perilla appears in its pages. The text describes using the leaves for respiratory ailments, the seeds for digestive problems. In Korea, a royal physician named Hyo-jun spent 15 years writing the Donggwabam. He finished in 1613. This encyclopedia documented 17 distinct uses for perilla, treating coughs, calming nausea, reducing inflammation, promoting digestion. The book became Korea's most important medical text. It guided physicians for 4 centuries, yet Western scholars did not translate it until 1999. 386 years of medical knowledge locked behind a language barrier. In Japan, during the Edo period, perilla cultivation reached 90% of farming households. Families grew it for food, medicine, and lamp oil. Before electricity, Japanese villages pressed perilla seeds for oil to light their homes. The crop served 3 functions simultaneously: food on the table, medicine in the cabinet, light in the darkness. But here is what matters most for survival. Perilla self-seeds with a ferocity that borders on aggression. A single plant produces between 1,000 and 4,000 seeds. 85% of those seeds will germinate. They remain viable in soil for 5 years or longer. Plant perilla once during one good season. The next spring, it returns without permission. The spring after that, it returns again and again. Korean farming villages have documented perilla patches growing on the same land for 10 generations. No replanting, no purchasing new seed. The crop simply continues. In agricultural terms, this is called naturalization. In practical terms, this is permanent food infrastructure. The leaves contain 3.9 grams of protein per 100 grams of fresh weight. This exceeds spinach. This exceeds kale. The calcium content reaches 230 milligrams. The iron content reaches 1.7 milligrams. Vitamin A concentration hits 5,520 international units. But the seeds hold the real treasure. In 1991, researchers at the National Institute of Nutrition in India analyzed perilla seed oil. They found alpha-linolenic acid concentrations between 54 and 64%. Alpha-linolenic acid is the plant form of omega-3 fatty acids. 64%. No other plant on earth comes close. Flaxseed oil contains 53% Omega-3. Chia seed oil contains 58%, but perilla seed oil contains 64%, the highest concentration ever measured in any plant species, and almost no one in the Western world has ever heard of it. In the 1970s, Danish researchers traveled to Greenland to study Inuit populations. They noticed something remarkable. Despite eating enormous amounts of fat, the Inuit had extremely low rates of heart disease. The researchers identified omega-3 fatty acids as the protective factor. Fish consumption became the explanation. Fish oil became the solution. By 1980, the supplement industry saw opportunity. Fish oil capsules entered the market. Marketing campaigns taught Western consumers that omega-3 came from fish. By 2024, the global omega-3 supplement market reached $4 billion annually. Fish oil dominates this market. Krill oil captures the premium segment. Algae oil serves the vegetarian niche. Every product requires industrial processing, extraction, purification, encapsulation. The complexity creates barriers to entry, and the barriers protect profit margins. Now consider perilla. The seeds can be cold-pressed with hand tools. No industrial facility required. No patents possible on the pressing of a seed. A farmer with a wooden press can produce omega-3 oil in a backyard shed. A crop that self-seeds cannot generate repeat seed sales. Perilla threatens every link in the supplement supply chain. Search PubMed, the database of medical research. Type fish oil omega-3. You will find more than 15,000 studies. Now type perilla omega-3. You will find 400 studies. The ratio is 37:1. This is not because fish oil works better. This is because fish oil has funding. Fish oil studies receive industry sponsorship. Supplement companies fund trials that support their products. Perilla research receives almost no Western industry funding. The studies that exist come primarily from Korean government institutions, Japanese universities, Chinese research hospitals. Until the 2000s, major medical databases systematically under-indexed research published in Asian languages. A study published in Korean might as well not exist for American physicians. The translation barrier functioned as an information wall. In 2003, Japanese researchers published a clinical trial. They gave perilla extract to patients with seasonal allergies. The treatment group experienced a 50% reduction in allergic symptoms, 50% from an herb that grows like a weed. The active compound is rosmarinic acid. Perilla contains more rosmarinic acid than any other culinary herb ever tested. More than rosemary, more than basil, more than oregano. The science is clear. The plant remains unknown. In 2004, researchers published findings on perilla and cancer prevention. The compounds in perilla leaves inhibited tumor growth in laboratory studies. Western oncologists did not notice. Western cancer patients did not learn. In 2010, Korean researchers studied diabetic patients consuming perilla leaf extract. Blood sugar levels after meals dropped by 23%. The pharmaceutical industry sells drugs for this exact purpose. Perilla does it for free. The pattern becomes visible. Every benefit that perilla provides threatens an existing industry. Omega-3 supplements, allergy medications, blood sugar drugs, anti-inflammatory treatments. Each category represents billions in annual revenue. This is not conspiracy. This is economics. Companies fund research that supports their products. They do not fund research that would make those products unnecessary. A self-seeding plant cannot be patented. A cold-pressed oil cannot be protected. The funding flows elsewhere. The research follows the funding. The knowledge gaps persist globally. Farmers spend $60 billion annually on seeds, corn, soy, wheat, cotton, all annual crops, all requiring new seed purchases every planting season. Perilla breaks this model. Buy seed once, plant once, harvest forever. Every spring, the previous year's dropped seeds germinate without permission. The crop expands. The farmer's costs disappear. No corporation benefits from this transaction. The same pattern appeared with white clover. For 80 years, American lawn seed contained clover because clover fertilizes soil for free. Then herbicide manufacturers needed peacetime markets. They removed clover from seed mixes. They sold poison to kill what they had previously sold as beneficial. Perilla faced no such active campaign. No company deliberately suppressed it. The mechanism was simpler. Neglect. A plant that generates no repeat revenue generates no marketing budget. The system that promotes profitable plants simply ignored the unprofitable ones. But the plant waited. It always waits. Perilla has grown in Asia for 2,000 years. It survived dynastic collapses. It survived wars. It survived industrialization. It survived being ignored by the most powerful food system in human history. And it is still there. You can grow it yourself. Perilla thrives in USDA zones 4 through 10. This covers most of the continental United States and equivalent climates in Europe. The plant tolerates poor soil. It tolerates drought once established. It tolerates neglect. Plant seeds directly in soil after the last frost date, or start them indoors 6 weeks earlier. Space plants 12 inches apart. Water occasionally during establishment. After the first season, water becomes optional. The plant adapts to local rainfall. Harvest leaves throughout the growing season. They taste like a combination of mint and basil with hints of anise. Eat them fresh in salads. Wrap them around grilled meat. Add them to soups. Dry them for tea. In fall, allow some plants to flower. The flower spikes produce thousands of seeds. Let them drop. Let them scatter. Let them establish next year's crop without any action from you. This is the self-seeding promise. One planting becomes a permanent presence. Collect excess seeds for oil production. Small hand presses cost less than $100. Cold pressing extracts oil without damaging the omega-3 content. One harvest provides a year of omega-3 supplementation. No capsules, no fish, no indice. The seeds also store indefinitely when kept dry. Traditional Korean households maintain seed supplies for years. The emergency value is obvious. If supply chains fail, if stores close, if industrial systems collapse, the seeds in your shed still grow. This is what resilience looks like, not bunkers and freeze-dried meals, not supplements shipped from factories across oceans. Resilience is a plant that returns every spring without asking, a plant that feeds you, provides medicine, and replants itself while you sleep. The question was never, why did Asia hide this herb? Asia did not hide anything. Korean grandmothers wrap meat in perilla leaves at every family dinner. Japanese restaurants serve shiso with every piece of raw fish. The knowledge was always there, always public. The question is, why did Western systems fail to notice? Why 15,000 studies on fish oil and 400 on perilla? Why 4 billion spent on supplements that a backyard garden could replace? The answer is not conspiracy. The answer is structure. Economic systems see what benefits economic systems. Research follows funding. Funding follows patents. Patents require control. Perilla cannot be controlled. It self-seeds, it spreads, it naturalizes, it becomes wild, it becomes free. What cannot be owned cannot be sold. What cannot be sold cannot be marketed. What cannot be marketed does not enter consciousness. But you know now. You know that the highest omega-3 plant exists. You know that it self-seeds forever. You know that 500 million people eat it weekly. You know that modern research validates ancient applications. The seed companies will not tell you. The supplement industry will not tell you. The medical establishment will not tell you. But the plant does not care about revenue streams. It cares about reproduction. It cares about spreading. For 2,000 years, perilla has pursued this single agenda. It will continue for 2,000 more. Subscribe and watch the next video to discover more secrets hidden in nature.